How's everybody doing today? It is December 28th, 2020. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm glad to be back on here, getting some information and some truth out to all of you. I hope all of you had a great holiday or whatever you did with your family over the last week or so where I wasn't on here. I hope you had a good time and spent time with your family, because truly that is what you need to do right now, and that is what I had to do. My mom's been sick, and I've definitely been taking care of her, but also I needed to take a step back and just spend time with my son and my family and kind of get grounded a little bit more and pray and read my Bible more. And now I feel refreshed. I feel ready to go. And I feel even more motivated now than I did before to continue to blast this truth, because this deception is so strong. It is so unbelievable to me to see the things that are happening every single day, and I'm going to continue to try to get the information out there, the truth. And we will do it together. That's the only way we can do this, okay? I need you just as much as you need me. We're a team against these ones that are in power, trying to take away every right that you ever had. So let's get into this. I have a couple videos coming out today, but this one first, I want to do a quicker video on this, because this is a story that you're going to start seeing stories like this, okay, that are going to be, they're going to lead you into more severe stories about people fleeing quarantines and, what is going to happen to people because of it, okay? But these are the types of stories you're going to see where they kind of break the ice with it, okay? What I'm talking about is people, getting out of quarantines, leaving quarantines, and then them being punished or not being punished, and that kind of thing, okay? So check this out. It says, only about 12 Britons stay in quarantine in Swiss ski resort after hundreds flee. Hundreds left for bear after discovery of new CV variant despite order to self-isolate. That's right, because there's this new variant, okay? It is now mutated like they knew it was going to, and how convenient that it's exactly right around the holidays like they thought it was going to be. Another thing that they just happened to plan, right? I'm doing some air quotes, that they planned for this to happen the way that it is. Kind of convenient, right? This says, only about a dozen British tourists out of about 420 appear to be left in the Swiss ski resort of Verbier after an undisclosed number fled a mandatory quarantine, okay? It says many under the cover of darkness, risking a 10,000 Swiss franc fine and drawing widespread condemnation on social media. This is the part I'm talking about, how this is breaking the ice. And what I mean by that is, when they do stuff like this, they are, getting it into the limelight. People on social media get people talking like, why are they doing this? Look at these bad people. Look at them. They were there skiing, not even listening. They shouldn't even have been skiing in the first place. They shouldn't have been, traveling. And then they just, took off under the, cover of darkness. And, they're condemning them, just like they said right here. Well, it starts this way, but then come 6 months or say, a year later, when it's you and I that won't take that vax, that's where this comes in. Well, guess what? They put us in quarantine, and now, because of all these other stories that have built up, now people are so irate that anybody that doesn't follow the quarantine laws that are going to come out, or the, vax laws that are going to continue to happen, and all of this stuff that's going to be forced upon us, when you don't follow that and you don't listen to that, you're going to be, what? Condemned the same way by all of friends and the public, right? It says, asked about the runaway tourist, the Swiss health minister, Alain Berset, said, we are aware of it. It's obviously a problem. There was an order to quarantine that has not been respected. See, and how nice that they can just instantly say, oh, there's a new variant. Oh, something changed. Oh, it switched. It mutated. Oh, guess what? Here comes another strain. So they can say this every month, every 2 months, and then right then they can say, oh, mandatory quarantines. Oh, it's because there's this new variant. Now we got to lock down this area right here. You don't have a choice. You got to listen to us, because it's just trust us. There's a new variant. Trust us. Just like I showed you yesterday with the vax, them all doing this publicly, taking the shots publicly, you know, and it's just, oh, look, we're doing it so you can trust us. That's what this is all about. You have to listen to them and trust them. It says, he added, one shouldn't underestimate what an impossible situation it was. He had to decide within hours what to do. That things don't work perfectly in such a situation. That problems surface is a reality we have to live with. It says, while some Swiss officials were sympathetic to the British skiers who quietly escaped rather than comply with Switzerland's new quarantine rules for the citizens from the UK and South Africa after the discovery of a new highly contagious variant of the CV. Commentators on Twitter were less kind, focusing on the wealth and the entitlement of the skiers. It also appeared that some of the skiers may have ignored UK advice on not traveling abroad as part of the new restrictions announced before Christmas. It says, while Verbier, not far from the French border, has been the focus of most reporting, British skiers also fled other resorts, including the former Live.eu campaigner Andy Wigmore, who compared his own family to the Von Trapps from The Sound of Music as he escaped via Paris after tough Swiss restrictions were introduced last week. See, this is happening everywhere. These lockdowns are expanding. It is happening everywhere. They're talking about upping them. You know, all these lockdowns are starting these new lockdowns. That's what my video later today is on, and all the lockdowns that are happening and all that are coming. Everything is about to escalate dramatically, people, okay? After the first, okay? They are already setting it up on every single station that you want to look at, any single news that you're hearing. They're setting it up. People travel too much. They're not listening. They're not listening. They're, you know, look at how many people are at the airport, you know? Check this out real quick. This is how hard they're pushing this.
California, where the healthcare system is already operating at capacity, there's real concern tonight that a new post-holiday surge will make things even worse. Megan Fitzgerald has our report.
For millions of Americans, it was a dark Christmas.
We're seeing the biggest numbers that we've seen so far in the pandemic.
The epicenter, California, where statewide ICU bed capacity stands at 0%, and the governor warning the second holiday surge could be deadlier than the first.
We're projecting that our hospital numbers will double in just the next 30 days.
In Los Angeles County, a person dies every 10 minutes from COVID. Doctors say the consequences of Christmas gatherings will be a breaking point.
This is pretty taxing. There's no ICU beds. We keep opening up new COVID units.
We will end up, just like New York ended up in April, in crisis care. You don't want to be in that place.
Another concern, the highly contagious strain that's running rampant in the UK. Testing for that has begun in LA. Tennessee, second only to California in cases per capita, now has just 12% ICU availability. Many critical care nurses there are seeing patients die on every shift.
We are working so hard and working to support our team, and we need our community to support us.
Adding to the national crisis, more than 8 million people flew for the holiday, the busiest period since the pandemic began. College sports continue to get hit by COVID. University of Michigan announcing 199 student athletes have now tested positive to date. Duke's women's basketball canceling the remainder of their season due to health and safety concerns. Now in the second week of the vaccine rollout, Dr. Hussein Sadrazodeh in Boston appears to be the first to have a severe reaction to the Moderna vaccine, using his own EpiPen on himself. Today he told us that he is still experiencing symptoms he believes are linked to the vaccine. A vaccine viewed as armor for medical workers on the front line, facing a new surge after a season of sadness.
These people are dying alone because they're in a COVID unit. No family members, no friends, no husband or wife there. They die alone.
And Megan, hospitalizations in LA County have more than tripled in the past month. What are hospitals doing to prepare for this potential next surge?
Well, Kate, hospitals like this one had 20 COVID patients before Thanksgiving. Now they have 130. So like other medical systems across the county, they're bringing in more staff like travel nurses and adding more beds to try and meet the demand. Kate?
Megan, thank you. And in Europe tonight, more countries are detecting that new highly contagious variant of the disease. NBC's Matt Bradley is in Paris tracking that story for us. Matt, where has this new strain been found?
Well, Kate, French authorities said last night that the first case here in France was discovered. It was a Frenchman who had been living in Britain and had returned last week. Authorities say he's asymptomatic and sheltering at home. So now Sweden, Spain, Japan, and Canada all have reported their first cases, and all of them can be linked at least somewhat back to Britain. Kate?
And Matt, help could be coming, right? Some European countries have begun vaccinations.
Well, the whole effort is going to start tomorrow for all 27 EU countries. The Pfizer vaccine has been delivered just yesterday and today. Germany and Hungary have started their first vaccinations. In Germany, the first one went to a 101-year-old woman who lives in a nursing home. But important to note, Kate, that all of the approved vaccines, according to scientists, will be effective against this new mutant variant. Kate?
Yes, so you can see how hard they are pushing this, right? It's on everything, you know? This is what they're doing, the calm before the storm. You know, so please, you need to prepare, plan today, be ready, okay? All right, this goes on, it said, so had the best time in Wingen.Swiss until the Swiss decided to lock down the country and quarantine all those who didn't escape for 14 days. Well, just like in The Sound of Music, the Wiggy von Trapps decided to make a run for it from the slopes of Switzerland to the French border in less than 3 hours. In the film, the von Trapps were escaping the Nazis. See, you know, this is another thing, like how they're sitting here making a joke out of it. That's what I mean by breaking the ice. It's all, you know, right here it's like half serious, right? It's not completely serious. They're not, you know, they talk about punishments, you know, etc. down here a little further that you'll see, but nothing, okay? That's too bad. But it builds up, trust me. This is the way they lay it out. It's a step-by-step progression that I talk to you about all the time. Just like with the vax. Right now, you're going through phase 1. You know, in my mind, there's 3 phases. Phase 1, they get everybody that will willingly run and do this themselves. Phase 2, they try to persuade those that are on the fence. That's why you're seeing people, you know, up here in the public, everybody getting their shots on national TV to tell you that it's safe. Those are the, you know, that's phase 2, persuading the ones that are up in the air still, okay? Then comes phase 3. That's you, that's I, that's us, that will not take it no matter what. When phase 3 comes, that's when all this ties in. This stuff right here ties in with that too, because by that time, they've built up enough of these types of stories and built up the severity of it to where now people are so irate about anybody who isn't following quarantine rules, isn't following the vax, you know, getting the vax done, the mask, the testing, okay? People are so built up on it because of what they've done in the media that they want our heads. That's all there is to it. It says, Wigmore was one of the few British tourists in Switzerland willing to put his head above the parapet in the last week, as many chose to leave their apartments and rooms, leaving meals uneaten and beds unslept in. It says, while Verbier was hosting about 420 British skiers, it is believed about 3,500 flew into Switzerland for the Christmas break, with many traveling by car or train. Pre-pandemic, British skiers made up 21% of all overnight stays in the Verbier resort. It says Swiss resorts had appeared to be set for benefit from restrictions imposed in other parts of Europe, but the restrictions by the Swiss government introduced on the 21st of December, and including a 10-day retroactive quarantine for those who arrived from Britain since 14th of December, caught out large numbers. Okay, caught out large numbers. This is the point. They can just change. Look at this. And just reading that. One started on December 21st. Oh, and then it was a 10-day. It's retroactive quarantines. It's crazy. Every country, all these cities, they are just imposing all these off-the-wall quarantines, restrictions, you know, curfews, shutting down all these businesses, not allowing people to leave, putting stay-at-home orders like in California. It is just nonstop. As you can see, it's building, and it's not going to stop building until they get what they want, and that is everyone vaxxed, everyone listening to them, everyone not using cash, everyone, you know, listening to what they do. Stay at home, do what they say, follow our rules. Then we might give you some bit of your normal life that you keep, you know, they keep talking about. Oh, well, we can go back to normal if you just hurry and go get the vax. Come on, people. There's no going back to what there was. It's not happening, okay? It says the restrictions were amended on Christmas Eve to allow Britons to return home, including those in quarantine, if they abided by special measures. It included informing local authorities of their mode of transport. Now check this out, right? How many times are they going to amend these things, right? Well, we'll change it this way. We'll change it that way. Look, as long as you do these special measures, you tell us how you drove, were you in a train, a plane, are you driving? As long as you do that, then we'll amend it, and you can go here, you can go there. My point, if this was as serious as they're telling it, do you think they would continue to, change these things and amend these all these restrictions? No. If they didn't want you traveling, they'd shut it down. If they didn't want you going to this place, it would be shut down. If they didn't want you leaving your home, you wouldn't be leaving your home if it was this serious that they're telling you. The reason that they're able to change all of this, they've been changing everything since the day one, every symptom, who it attacks, etc., because the threat is not what they're telling you it is. They are the threat. They are the one you need to be paying attention to, not this so-called pandemic. It goes on, it said it is unclear how many simply fled and how many left under the amended rule. Many of them stayed in quarantine for a day before they set off, unnoticed under the cover of darkness. They have to keep saying that, It says, this was the worst week our community has ever experienced. See? So this is the thing. See how they break the ice with this? Look, people are going to get upset just a little bit here, and then it'll build. It says, reports in Swiss media, as the ban was announced last week, suggested some hotels had been explicit about the new quarantine rules for the British guests, suggesting that those who fled were aware they were breaking the law. See, here we go. It says, the Neuen Zurich Zeitung quoted Anne Georges of the Verbier Hotel Phoenix before Christmas as advising 3 groups of British guests to stay in their rooms. It's uncomfortable, but what else do I want to do? Commentary on social media focused on the wealth and entitlement of the skiers. It says the former Financial Times editor Lionel Barber tweeted, postscript to the Verbier breakout, the British must now officially count as the lagerlouts of Europe. It says other posted mock-ups of the poster for the film The Great Escape, or called for those who fled to be arrested. Okay, here we go, right? To be arrested. This is my point. These are the stories, that break the ice. These are the stories that will build until it says people living in your hometown. Eric did not listen. He did not take the test. He would not take our vax. He then violated quarantine laws by leaving, etc., his home, etc. We are now taking him to a detention center or a quarantine facility. You can call them whatever you want, but all they're going to be places that they're going to take you and I, because we're not going to listen to them. That's all there is to it. But I'm willing to do that. I've made my decision. I know where I'm at with God. I know my relationship with my faith, and I have nothing to worry about, nor do you. When we talk about this, when we talk about how serious it's getting and that we're running out of time, you always know I do not mean you're running out of time till the end of the world. I just mean you're running out of time to prepare to have you and your family 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of these powers that be that are going to be coming down, down your street eventually. We know it's coming. They haven't hit it. They've always told us it's in front of us every single day. So please, everyone, today, sit down, make a plan with your family. Sit down right now, talk to your kids, talk to your, whatever, your families, extended family, your sibling. It doesn't matter. Talk to your neighbors, whatever you want to do. Make a plan today so that if this happens tomorrow, you're ready. You know where you're going, your child knows where they're going, and you can at least maybe get a 2-day, 3-day, 4-day jump on, the powers that be that are going to be coming down on us at some point here in the near future. Everybody, like I said before, thank you for understanding. I had to take some time off, and I hope you all had a great, time with your families. And just remember, I'm in this with you. We're in this together, and they know that all they want to do is continue to divide us because when we're united, we are so strong, and they know that. So they're going to try to continue to block my videos. So please always check, make sure notifications are on. Please like, subscribe if you haven't, and I will continue to fight for you. We'll talk to you all real soon. Stay strong. Stay safe. We'll talk to you soon. God bless.